If you're new to fasting, or maybe you've tried it before but you're struggling to see results, honestly, I'm not surprised. There is so much mixed information trying to sell you something. Fasting Tube is independent and focusing on real information. Let's get started with today's video.
The question, I don't feel hungry at all on my first day of intermittent fasting, is this normal? You asked. I don't feel hungry at all on my first day of intermittent fasting, is this normal? I started intermittent fasting today, and I haven't ate anything from the time since I wake up. I don't feel any hunger pangs at all. I went from eating normally to this, and is it normal not to feel hungry? My stomach isn't rumbling, but my mind wants to eat everything in the kitchen. Yes. And now you understand and can make the distinction between the psychological and emotional habit of wanting to eat everything in the kitchen and the physiological craving to eat that comes from natural appetite. They are not the same thing. A lack of natural appetite is the first sign of disease, malaise or encroaching chronic dysbiosis, microbial imbalance or maladaptation on or inside the body, such as an impaired microbiota. Not feeling hungry is a powerful sign that many simply do not heed in curing themselves and instead wait until symptoms become more severe and easily characterized into medical terminology, e.g., I've got an ulcer, cancer, heart condition, etc. Fasting naturally remediates loss of appetite loss by addressing the as yet unknown underlying conditions that produce the symptom. Whatever your underlying cause might be, your body will naturally cure it if you give it the time and energy resources to do so by complete physiological rest that fasting delivers. It is the resting of your digestive system through abstinence of all food intake and drinking water alone that enables the body to cure itself. Again, fasting is not the cure. It is the internal environment of physiological conditions that enable the body to cure itself rapidly and thoroughly. However, your question has a wrinkle, in that most common conceptions and applications of intermittent fasting, the periodic skipping of meals and then eating again, is not fasting. Fasting requires a continuous series of unbroken days and nights of only consuming water alone with as much complete physical, emotional and psychological rest as possible. Intermittent fasting will not bring the benefits of creating the internal environment of physiological conditions that enable the body to cure itself rapidly and thoroughly any more than driving your care around town every other day for a year will take you from Los Angeles to New York, even though the total mileage driven might be the same. It doesn't matter how many days you intermittently fast over a year, it only matters how many consecutive days of fasting and rest you undergo to eliminate all symptoms. And those number of days spent fasting will be determined by your baseline health and whatever underlying conditions are needing to be cured and remediated until natural appetite returns. That is a complete therapeutic fast, and that's when you break your fast. However, complete therapeutic fasts are incredibly difficult to do these days due to environmental pollutions and toxic loads that many of us have by simply being alive in society. Such fasting requires pristine natural environments to have progressive healing of severe and chronic conditions. As example, my longest therapeutic fast was 28 days undergone in an urban environment. I charted my experiential symptoms daily and they improved for just up to 3 weeks in the fast, but after that all of them didn't progress and some regressed. And even though my natural appetite didn't return on the 28th day, and I could have easily fasted longer, I chose to break my fast and continue with a therapeutic diet. Complete therapeutic fasting in any other than pristine settings is ill-advised and not recommended. I advise my clients to only fast for up to 14 days and then continue their cure on a therapeutic diet. This works well. I'm currently in my 7th day of fasting and still have a daily lessening of symptoms of underlying causes. Even at this length of being in a fast, I too have thoughts and a mind for eating all the food in the kitchen. This is only because I'm still preparing meals for my family, as I'm a trained professional chef and it's just part of day-to-day reality, but my body simply doesn't want to eat anything yet, so I keep fasting. The smartest way to fast is to do so away from food and all other similar stimulants. If one can arrange such time off from day-to-day life. But after 20 years of fasting, I've learned to let my body lead and have the willpower to overcome my thoughts. So if I've not enough time or pristine environment available to fast to completion at the return of natural appetite and hunger, a very actionable principle in this absence of ideal conditions is to always attempt to fast until all symptoms are gone and then add on at least one more day of fasting for good measure. You can then break the fast and continue the therapeutic effects through a recovery diet. Best wishes should you choose to pursue the fasting path.